It should be right. Oh God! Oh my goodness gracious! That really sucks. Okay, that was wonderful.
Welcome to Smoke Shop.
Hi. Hope everybody's doing all right. Happy New Year. What we're going to do today is we're going to get back into Mr. Hancock a little bit. For anyone new to the show, Mr. Hancock is my 1965 Volkswagen Beetle. And the rear apron area here was one of the first areas that I started to go after as far as rust repair, or assess, I should say. The first area that really kind of intimidated me was this rear area once I took the fender off. If you haven't seen it, there is an episode about that. That was a struggle in and of itself. That at this point is not really that scary to me because of the A-pillar project and our success with that. I just need to kind of learn more with the flux core welding and not blowing it all apart. Today, I believe what we're going to do, actually, probably going to do some broken screw removal and see if we can get that fender hung back again, because I do not intend to do those repairs as far as full-on repairs for a while yet. That's going to entail taking the car apart, which I do not want to do right now. Again, for those who don't know the story, basically my dad used to have a 1965 Beetle, and while he is still capable of doing so, I would like to get this thing stabilized enough to where I could take it to him and he could drive it, at least in a parking lot or something, just for the experience. Also, basically this car is street legal, insured and drivable. And right now with the fender pulled off, I don't have a tail light, etc., etc. I'd like to get it back on the road so I can drive it and enjoy it on nice days. The plan was to be a rolling restoration, but eventually I know I will have to blow the car completely apart. I don't really want to do that yet, like I said, and that's going to be off the road for a couple years. So while I can utilize the vehicle and enjoy it for a little while, I would like to do that. So again, today's project is going to be basically stabilizing this corner enough to where I can put the fender back on, and possibly, if I decide to, I do have a rear bumper and I can put that back on or install it. So let's get to it, I reckon. Let's see if we can get to those screws at all from the back side. I'm pretty sure I can from underneath, which of course is not optimum, but you can't really get to that one at all. You cannot get to the back side of that screw. Now I don't know if that's, yeah, that's seam sealer or something. So yeah, I cannot get to the back side of that one at all. This one I believe is right there, yes. So I can get to him. That is going to be interesting. Now that we've got our dual camera mode activated, we're going to try and get these out. I'm pretty confident I can get that one out. I can access it from behind underneath here. This one I cannot access from behind. Yeah, there's a seam sealer or something back here, and it's the point where the rear apron and the fender come together. And I mean, unless somebody's going to come on here and comment and tell me what I don't know, because I don't know, and I absolutely will admit that, I don't see any way to access this the back of this screw bolt. I don't think we're going to be able to get to that one from behind. This one I can get to from behind, which will help us to get these out. So, School of Hard Knocks, we're going to go ahead and go for the hard one first, because why take the easy road and then fight when we can fight and then take the easy road on the way out? Let's see if we can get this going. For starters, we're going to spray it with some penetrating lubricant, such as everyone's favorite PB Blaster. And it breaks loose faster. I don't even know what the can looks like anymore. This is an old can that I found in Dad's garage that actually works. Any of the new cans I bought, they don't work. They run out of aerosol before I've even gotten any juice out of them. So I found this nice old vintage one with a cool label. There is no straw holder in this though, but it does have a pinpoint stream without a straw. It's amazing. I'm probably going to block you to a certain degree, but basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to utilize my spring-loaded center punch. I don't know how perfect my tip is because I've pounded this thing flat several times and reground it. However, it still does what it's supposed to do, so why buy a new one? I think about it every time I go to our favorite store. And basically what I want to do is center up as good as possible what's left of our screw bolt. Basically, when you push in, you're loading a spring, and when it reaches a certain point, it releases the pressure of that spring against the punch part of the tool and punches it into the metal. And if you can't see that, do one of these real quick. That's drone mode. So you can see where I hope, I can't really see my screen. Hopefully you can see where the center punch put a nice little dot right in the middle of the bolt, or what's left of it. What that's going to do is allow us to center our drill bit, because we're going to use a drill bit and drill into this. What I have is called a screw extractor set, which is made specifically for the process that we're doing. This is a screw extractor set. I would say that I have pretty much destroyed the smaller ones, or at least this one. Is that the one we're going to need? Probably. That's probably why it's destroyed. But there went our drill bit. You know, the one good drill bit that I had. Ah, yes. Some fun we are having now. Anywho, the point being, what we have here is a chart of the 5 extractor sizes and the drill bit corresponding to the hole that you need to drill in order to utilize the extractor. It also says what you're going to use it in for the which extractor to use. It also says it in metric, so that's cool. Anyhow, there's that. Well, guys and gals, Made an executive decision. I'm not doing 2 camera angles. The last thing that I need is more footage to edit. When we last left Schmoke and Company, we had done our center punch bit there, and I'm not even sure how good any of these drill bits are. I really need to buy a set of drill bits. But this is pretty skinny. You want to start small with your hole. And drilling metal is not about high speed and lots of heat. It's more about slow and steady wins the race. And this is a good bit, so I'd rather not destroy it. The other thing you're going to do when you get aggressive is break the bit, especially a small one like this. The more heat that's introduced by you doing a high-speed drilling process with all kinds of aggression and stuff like that, especially with a tiny bit like this, you're going to break the bit so fast, you'll break it before you even dull it. You're also going to dull it if you don't keep it at least somewhat lubricated. Because you got to keep it lubricated. Anyway, we're not going to do that again. And if you think of it, if you were drilling from above, you kind of want to let the weight of the machine do the work. I mean, I'm putting a little bit behind it, but I'm not shoving this bit into the bolt. And again, just stop every once in a while. Spray you some looby-dooby in there. And get back to it. Especially with metal, a sharp bit is super important. And again, especially with metal, you can dull them really fast. I have a whole bunch of dull drill bits. I also have a drill doctor. Maybe one day we'll sit down and do some bit sharpening. Whoops. I want to get a rag or a paper towel and get some of these shavings off. When you're messing with metal shavings, definitely safety glasses and gloves if you're... I don't know what I was about to say. Wear your safety gear, kids. Do as I say, not as I do. Basically, what I'm doing is kind of backing off whenever I see the curlicues stop coming out. And putting some more lube in there. I'm actually probably deep enough, but it's not going to hurt to go any deeper. And listen to your machine. You know, if you're holding the trigger at one consistent pressure, it's going to make a consistent sound. And if it starts binding down and slowing down, it's meeting some resistance. And you might want to back off and or get some lubricant in there, especially with a small bit, or you're going to break your bit. Which, I may have just done that, but I wasn't sure. Never hurts to put more. But you can tell what the machine is doing and what the bit is doing. through feel and by the sound and the action of what it's doing. We're going to step up to a bigger bit. And I'm not right now looking at the menu or anything. I'm just trying to get a hole started. Worst case scenario, we drill the whole bolt out. That's not a problem. That's a good thing. I just don't want to booger up the threads if I can save them. And we can get a bolt back in here to hold the fender on. Because if not, there's nothing here. If we can get that one out, then we've got one. But we've got basically no option and 2 chances to have a bolt holding the fender on below this point. I think you get what I'm saying. I think you're picking up what I'm putting down. Oops. Oops. Now I am putting a little bit more pressure into this one because it's a bigger bit and it can take it a little more. But you're not trying to shove the drill bit through the steel. That would be impossible. It's basically chewing its way through the steel. So we're about 1/4 of an inch in. We really want to go as far as we can just to get a good bite on it with the extractor. Ooh! All right, well, we went through. I'm not going to complain about that. Awesome, actually. That means we got a good portion of the bolt out before it broke. So that's good. Again, as it turns out, of course, we're going to use the one that's the most screwed up. But since we're all the way through, we might be able to get this in a little bit further. Basically what you do is you take this after you've drilled your hole, you set this in the hole, and you, utilizing a hammer, theoretically, that's not really doing what we want it to. Oh, because it's broken off. That's why. I broke it off and then tried to sharpen it looks like. Right. So that's not going to help any. Let's waller that hole out a little bit. When wallering, you got to be real careful. So that's a real good way to break a drill bit. And or bend one. I don't think I meant it. But we're going to try this one more time. And if it doesn't do what I want it to, we're probably going to move up to the next size drill bit. There we go. right, then you grab a theoretically an adjustable wrench. The main thing is I need the adjustable wrench to have as little slop as possible so that we don't lose all of our leverage. Again, I'm just trying to get the jaws on there as tight as I can. Let's see what happens. Basically, you're just going to act like you're loosening it. And it should bite in even further and get a bite on the bolt. And basically what it is this is a reverse thread. So by hammering it in there, we've got it started. And now what I'm doing is I'm screwing it into the hole. Once it gets a good bite, theoretically it should start backing out the bolt. Because by screwing in the reverse threads, when that gets tight into the bolt, it's going to grab the bolt and turn it in the rotation that would loosen it. Hopefully that made sense, because I'm not even going to try and explain it again. You better have been listening. And again, a lot of times what's going to happen is you're going to break off your screw extractor, which I'd rather not do. So, more than likely what we're going to do here is move up to the next size, because I'm pretty confident that this screw extractor is going to break off in that bolt before that bolt comes loose. And keep in mind that that bolt that broke loose was a much larger diameter when it broke. The advantage you've got here is that we can heat this thing now. We can do all kinds of stuff. But for starters, what we're going to do is bump up to the next size, which takes a 5/32 drill bit. All right, gang. Which this is. We are now bumping up to a 5/32. Again, I have old people eyes now, so I can't tell if this bit's sharp or not. I guess I could be consistent in my lubrication. I think you probably saw that go through there. There we go. Ouch. All right, we're starting to get a bite there. Let's see if we can get it to go in. Yeah, all right. The main thing with these is, again, slow and steady wins the race. We'll tap that some more here and there, keep some vibrations going through there, because we're trying to do everything we can to free that bolt up and keep the threads intact, preferably without having to drill it out completely. Again, I have something else I need to take care of. I'm going to leave this right here as it is, and we'll pick this up here in a little while and just let that soak. I may actually hit it with some heat real quick. Hopefully not start too big of a fire, since our gas line is literally right there. So that's cool. Just let that soak up some heat. I'm not saying it's necessarily going to do anything. But it ain't going to hurt any. Well, unless it bursts into flames, of course. Which, considering I'm about to walk out of here, would be a terrible thing. Yeah, there's that alarm. Be right there, buddy. Be right there. It's just going to get progressively louder, of course. Hey, guess what? We're going to turn that off and get you zoomed in. Guess what, guys? I spoke too soon. It did move a little bit. Oh. I should have done it while I was there. Let's go ahead and hit it with some more heat real quick. Because it was turning, but then I stopped to get the camera. Once again, the joys of YouTube. Alright, I had this out, but I gotta stop and film it for you guys. Again, I'm gonna try not to start a fire or anything. Get a little heat up in there. And once again, with one hand, while filming at the same time, we're going to try to oh, to have a beautiful woman to motivate me and hold the camera and film my work. I just say that because there's several channels where that's the dynamic. It really would be useful. Okay, so what's happened here is the tool is now tightening some more and the bolt has stopped turning. So we are going to come back to this and we'll hit it with some more heat. But I think you've already seen some motion there and we're going to get this puppy out of there. Knock on wood. So we'll see you real soon, kids. Hopefully we're going to back this the rest of the way out. I also took the time before I turned the camera on to start that drill process. And we need to turn on the heat again. The heat is definitely what is freeing us up. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I hope you're getting this well, because it is a very good demonstration of how heat is helping our situation. See, as it's cooling off, it's starting to bind up again. I'm going to spray it with some more penetrating lubricant. And folks, we are about to come free, I would say. Three, two, one. Yay! That's hot. Wherever you are, you're up there. That's hot. Don't forget. One down, one to go. So, if we're lucky, we can get the screw extractor back out of the bolt now. Oh, I'm tightening it. See, you gotta remember it's reverse threaded. Alrighty then. Again, I don't know what you can see. I think you're looking right around there. What we have now is the broken end of a bolt with a hole through it. So for those of you who are crafty, including myself, of course, I could take the old belt sander and smooth off these edges, run a string through it, and make a bead. Well, at this point, this is pretty much going to be a time lapse. Yeah, it's already twisting. I can see it. That's too bad. I'd really like to get that out of there. Some heat in there now. I'm pretty confident I've butchered this at this point and it's not going to come out of there, but I'm just curious. That's okay with me. I can get to the other side. If I want to, I can put a nut on a bolt. All we're trying to do is get this fender hung back on here. I think we're just going to go ahead and clean up all these. Figure out what we can do with that one. Find our fender. And I'm not worried about putting a bumper on right now. The reality is that I need to get some patch panels. So, for right now, like I said, I want to be able to enjoy my car. And work on it a little bit as we go. I think that's going to be my best bet for my sanity. Basically, I'm just taking a tap and I'm going to just run it through the threads. Yeah, because as we know, they're rusty. I'm not trying to force it. I'm not trying to re-thread anything. The threads are already there. I don't know if you can hear that, but yeah, there's all kinds of rust and grit. I should probably run these bolts, run a wire wheel over these bolts also. But I mean, if I can run that in with my hands, that's pretty good. But we want them to all be at least that easy, if not easier. So, that's what I'm going to be doing. And again, I don't think you really want to watch that. I'm going to talk right now a whole bunch because I have music playing, and I'm not allowed to have music playing because YouTube's mean like that. They don't want me to listen to my music, so I have to stop my music so I don't get a copyright infringement. Anyway, hey guys. So I cleaned up all the other threads in the existing holes that were still okay. I went ahead and started to tap threads into the existing, or the hole that we just drilled. The hole that I just drilled through there is, as far as I can tell, the correct size. So basically what I'm doing now is I'm tapping it. I don't know if I have another Fender bolt, but it may as well be the same thread size as the rest of them. And I figured I'd show you. I don't know if you can see me, but we'll back it all the way back out. I'm just going to clean this up a little bit. But when you're tapping a new hole, as opposed to cleaning up the threads in an existing, already threaded hole, you definitely want to use a lubricant. There are ones specifically for it. And once you've started the hole, you need to make sure that you're staying in the threads that you've started. Now, the way I was taught, you don't want to use a bunch of effort and force the tap through. You want to cut it, back it off a little bit, clear out the threads, cut a little bit more, back it up. And basically what you're doing is allowing the metal shavings that you're cutting out to clear the hole so that you're not getting hung up in there. I have not played with, I don't know if it's a new thing or if people are just chucking up regular dies or taps into their drills, but I have been seeing people using taps on a drill. Again, I don't know if that's a specialty tool, something different, new, that I don't really know about, but I don't have one. So we're using the old school hand cut method. Definitely don't want to break the tap off inside of here. So I'm not putting a bunch of effort. I mean, this handle is a certain length probably for a reason. So I'm just turning it to the point where I can feel it do its work and cut a little bit into the metal. And then I'm backing it back off and getting that metal out of there. But you see all those shavings, that's us digging out the threads. And I'm judging by how far I turn by what I'm feeling. So if I'm feeling a whole bunch of resistance and I don't feel like the tool is doing any work, I'm not going to force it. But if I feel like the tool is moving relatively easily, I'll take it a little further. Even though we were not able to get that bolt out, we were able to salvage enough good solid metal that I will be able to put one back in that hole. And it's the same size as it was originally. I was able to find another bolt from the box of hardware that came with the part stash that I bought. If you're curious about that, there's a whole video. I'll try and remember to put a link here. I got a super killer deal on a bunch of parts that somebody who did a proper full restoration on a car, same year, all their takeoffs and extras, including some brand new parts and a full set of factory steel wheels, which a video in the near future, or at some point in the future, will be us refinishing those wheels. But I gotta get a set of hubcaps, because a video like that is not going to have the same effect if I can't pop the hubcaps on it at the end. I'm not going to bring you over here, but I'm basically shoving wires through a rubber grommet. If that's a subject matter that is fascinating to you, leave a comment down below. Next time on Smoke Shop, Smoke shoves wires through holes. Will he make it? Man, those are some great noises. I hope the microphone's picking that up. It's like crunching destruction noises. Alright. Hopefully there's a hole somewhere around there. Hey, there is. Coincidentally. Oh, you know what I did not do? I did save it though. Somewhere is the fender welt. Since we still have it, why not? It should be something like that. Yeah. So, let's get another bolt in here. Sweet. I think it's actually on there better than it was with 2 less bolts. That's funny. Yay! Now let's find the tail light and get her wired back up. So, thanks to this picture we took on November 9th of 2024, so long ago. The white is on this side, and the black is on this side. I don't know if I've got that screw or not. Alright guys, I don't know if it's right, but it'll work. And since I did not grab a screwdriver, we'll just use the trusty Milwaukee knife Drive 2000, which has an actual name, but I don't remember what it is. Uh-oh, dropped the screw. Oh, dropped it again. Oh, dropped it again. That's 3 times. That's the last time. I'm done dropping that screw now. Thank you. Have a nice day. All right. And now back to the show. Return these screws to the correct place and tighten them. All right, guys. I need you to do me a favor. I need you to help me test the lights. So theoretically, assuming we still have any battery life, that should be tail lights. And oh, turn signals don't work without the key on. Whoa. You got a bad ground there, I'd say, Mr. Hancock. He winked at me when I came outside. That's assuming you can still hear me. Huh. For some reason the turn signal is not working. How about brake lights? Brake lights worked. Well, imagine that. There's an issue in the turn signal circuit. That's not really that surprising. Stuff like that happens with bugs all the time. But we're back to being street legal again. And that's what I was concerned about. Tagline and all. Just for the effect. Oh yeah. What do you think, guys? Cold start out of the blue, see if there's any battery life or anything in this thing? Let's do it. I haven't started this thing in months. Come on, Mr. Hancock. Show them what you got, buddy. Boom! I figured it would stall. I don't think the choke's set up correctly anymore, but it fired right up. That's beautiful. He's a good boy. Yes, he is. He gets to go for a ride again soon. We can't go now, though, kids, because there's no passenger door. Anyway, I don't know if this is going to be a very exciting episode. Probably not. We'll see what comes out of the edit. But kind of got the wind taken out of my sails right first thing this morning. Again, I don't know what'll make it into the final video, but due to a comedy of errors, including a camera stopping recording and a microphone not being on, it took me, I believe it was a total of 5 takes to actually get this video started. Then I had an appointment part of the way through the day that I need to take care of, etc., etc., etc. So, I accomplished what I wanted to. It's ready to go back on the road once we put that passenger door back on. But we'll probably do some more sheet metal work before we do that. Anyhow, as we do here at the end of these videos, so far, I've gotten a whole bunch of views since I started filming this afternoon, so that's interesting. The analytics, the YouTube algorithm is very interesting. It's literally a roller coaster ride. Anyhow, we are looking at 246 subscribers. I briefly had 247, and then I was back to 246. Like I said, it's a roller coaster ride. It's very strange. Some people don't want to subscribe at all. Some people subscribe for a few hours. But anyhow, I think that's going to wrap it up for now. If you enjoyed the video, please like and share. And as always, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.